Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to this new episode in which I want to talk to you about clearing your energy, kind of cleansing yourself of any stagnant or discouraging energy that might make you feel frustrated, make you feel stuck, or it might feel like you're in a pattern where you're not getting the results you want. You just don't feel as joyful as you once did. And this is definitely not the most pleasant way to live, but being human, we do go through these seasons, and usually these seasons are there to show us something, to give us a new idea, and to offer guidance for what we can create next. And right now, as I'm recording this, it is spring, though it's a little bit too cold outside to fully feel like it. But there are signs of growth. There are signs of new blooms, new leaves, new energy that comes from the same plants, which I find is so fascinating, right? A lot of times we think that there needs to be a completely new structure or a new experience in order to experience renewal and that fresh growth, but it does come from us. So be like the trees, be like these beautiful blossoms that are coming out from the same existing stem, but are creating something new and beautiful. In human design, I am a manifesting generator, which means that when I'm out of alignment, when I'm acting against my natural ways, I tend to feel frustration. That is how I know that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And when I'm frustrated for too long, I actually tend to feel I start to feel depressed and sad and really discouraged. And I recently went through a miniature season. I can't say I stayed there very long, but nonetheless, it wasn't a pleasant experience. So if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you're in an unhelpful pattern, or you just can't seem to get results, or you can't seem to get passionate about what you're doing, I encourage you to watch the rest of this video, and hopefully these tips will help reinvigorate you and help some of those beautiful ideas, those beautiful flowers to bloom again in your life. Something that I've been working on is really nurturing my own inner voice and my own intuition, because being an artist and being in the coaching industry, sometimes we give a lot more power to other people's opinions and the things that other people say about life, about business, about art. And we forget that the most important voice in our life is our own voice. And of course, if you are a spiritual, voice of the divine or voice of God, but we can't hear that voice if we're too busy looking for solutions outside of ourselves. So the number one tip that I'm going to give you is, of course, very obvious. It's just going within, even if it is just for that 5 minutes in the morning when you wake up, just taking a moment of silence or going on a quiet walk without any music or without your phone, and just hearing what ideas are coming through. What does your soul want to do? Or what does it no longer want to do? What feels heavy? What feels frustrating? And what do you need to let go in order to allow the beautiful energy of renewal to come into your life? And part of my lesson in not listening to everyone and really nurturing my own business, my own life, and my own creativity has been silencing some of those things I've heard that have controlled my life. So I'll give you a specific example. In the coaching industry, there has been a lot of kind of talk or insinuation that you should only have one thing, you should be known for that one thing. And we've all heard these stories before as well. As artists, we hear that we need to find our style, or we need to find who we are as artists. But the truth is, in my experience, we find those things by doing, by experimenting, by living, by creating. And so once I stopped shaming myself for wanting to explore different things, for wanting to try different types of art, to become a coach, to write a book, to start a YouTube channel. Once I accepted myself as a creator, as an unlimited creator, then I was able to kind of move through my day easier. Because when I was shaming myself for doing too many things or not being focused enough, I was having a hard time starting anything. So I was in a perpetual cycle of guilt and not actually being productive. So it'd be one thing if I could, force myself to focus on one thing, but instead I was stuck in paralysis, and that's not a good way to be. So the way we find our inner voice and the way that we hear the clarity of what we're supposed to be doing next is very simple. And you don't need this video or anyone else. You just need to listen to yourself. And listening to ourselves can be painful because sometimes change is really uncomfortable, even if it is those minor changes that we create in our life, in our art, in our business. And so for me, it's usually writing and journaling in the morning, or just taking a moment to sit on a beanbag chair and say a quick prayer. Or even when I'm walking Calibri through the woods, I usually just ask God to guide me and to give me understanding and wisdom for what I should be focusing on. And sometimes the answer doesn't come until I'm doing something completely unrelated. I'll be going on a run, or I'll be at the gym and I'll get a new idea and I then take action. The other thing that I caught myself doing is asking God, asking myself for more ease in my life. There's so many frameworks and blueprints and steps and programs that we are shown, and all of it can be very great and can be helpful, but it can also be really overcomplicated. And so when we simplify our life and our creative business and our art practice, life gets really, really fun and really flowy. And so setting an intention for things to be easy can create a powerful shift. And I also want to clarify, easy doesn't mean we don't do anything. Inspired action is number one important thing. We do have to show up. We can't say we want to have a six-pack abs and never go to the gym. We still have to show up. But our attitude towards it can make a huge difference. So for example, if I'm coming to the studio saying, I want to create my best body of work, but the entire time I'm judging myself or complaining about how I'm not good enough, or I'm not fast enough, or so-and-so does it better, then the process becomes quite painful. So the ease for me is I'm still showing up, I'm still putting in a lot of hours in my business, but my attitude is I'm supported, I'm being guided, it's effortless, I'm doing what is my life's calling, I'm following my divine timing, my success is inevitable. And when I come from a place of my success is inevitable, I tend to relax and I tend to just show up and trust and enjoy the process more. So I encourage you to create or adopt this mantra when you are starting a new project or you have a big important deadline. That way, instead of feeling stressed and nervous, you are creating your reality and you're creating that inevitable success. Another thing that can happen in our lives and in our business is, this is a quote that I was reminded of recently. I believe it is by Albert Einstein, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting new results. So if you're doing something in your life or your business or your art that is just not working, and you keep doing it because so-and-so or some person online said you have to do it that way, try something different. Try something new. Do something that's outside your comfort zone, or maybe just relax and put your own special flavor to what you're doing. I was really caught up in following these blueprints and frameworks that we hear about, and I kind of lost sense of why I was doing what I was doing at one point. And luckily I caught myself and I was like, wait a minute, that's someone else's framework and it works for them. How can I make this my own? How can I remind myself of why this is so important for me, and why did I start doing this in the first place? And then things got more fun. I even ended up collaborating with one of my friends, and bringing that new energy of partnerships and collaborations that are aligned has been wonderful. So if you feel like you're on that treadmill and the results just aren't coming, try something you haven't done before. Try partnering up with someone, or try going live if you haven't gone live before, or try a new technique if you're having trouble in the studio and you're just not experiencing the joy that you once did. The other very basic thing to refresh your energy is honestly just to clean. I cleaned my studio the other day because I had students visiting from FIT, thanks to one of my studio neighbors. And let me tell you, I was able to show up with more joy the next day. I felt more inspired to come and paint. I felt like more organized, more put together, and I just did the same thing today. I'm actually doing a load of laundry as I'm recording this because I've been traveling a lot and it's been the holidays, so I haven't really been home to create that coziness, that space that I desperately need in order to stay focused and grounded and joyful. So refreshing space, cleansing the room with, if you feel like using sage or Palo Santo that's ethically sourced, if it's in alignment with your belief system, do that. Or sometimes just opening the windows and letting that beautiful spring air come and flood in, and setting an intention that you are releasing the old energy and calling in new ideas, new creativity, new passion, new purpose into your life, and breathing life into everything that you're doing. Another amazing tip that really helps me is sometimes taking physical action on something will help release that stagnant energy or that pesky limiting belief or fear and actually destroy it. So I went camping last year, and we went around this time actually. I just saw pictures pop up in my Facebook memories. And the campsite, we made a fire, and I brought a little notebook with me. And as I was sitting there in nature, I had a lot of time to think. So naturally, a lot of the things that have been bothering me at that time of my life came up. I was dealing with some body dysmorphia and just some unhelpful self-image issues, and I was really bored of it. I came to the place where I was just sick of having this problem, I was sick of having this issue, and I wanted to surrender it and I wanted to let it go. So I wrote down all the things that were holding me back, all the things that were haunting me, and I wrote them on a piece of paper and I put it in the fire, and I really visualized myself healing and releasing from those things. So it could be a financial challenge that you're going through, or maybe you're stuck in a financial loophole. I've been there before, where maybe you just can't seem to make enough, or maybe you just are afraid of money running out and you're holding on to every penny, living in fear. Whatever it is for you, you can write down what's coming up for you and remove it by burning it in a safe place. Maybe put it in a bowl of water or take it outside in a campfire, and just feel that being gone, feel that actually getting destroyed, and that can bring in a lot of relief and a lot of peace as well. And of course, just taking a moment to honor the season that you're in, taking a moment of gratitude for all the things that you've achieved before this moment and the life that you were able to create for yourself right now is super empowering and super helpful. As I was preparing slides for this course that Gita and I are working on, I was looking at old exhibition images and just thank the person that was willing to show in coffee shops, willing to show in nonprofit spaces and public spaces. And the fact that I was scrappy and showed up got me here today, because truly action does move us towards our next level. So take a moment to thank yourself, take a moment to honor the season that you're in, and know that because you are able to create everything that you have now means that you're able to create whatever else that you want. So I encourage you to reflect, maybe take some time to journal about what needs to go, what needs to leave, what is holding you back, what feels really heavy or annoying, or like in my case, maybe you're so tired of dealing with the same issue and repeat that you need to interrupt the pattern by doing something completely different that you haven't done before. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed these tips for spring cleaning your soul and your creative business. And I'm looking forward to seeing your comments. And let me know in the comments what you're committed to, what are you letting go this spring, and what are you calling in? What beautiful blooms and flowers are you calling into your beautiful garden that is your life? We love you so much. Calibri says bye, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with videos, vlogs, and tips for your art career, for your business, and for your soul. I love you so much, and thank you so much for being here and being a part of my journey.